I was expecting the weather to be a little better. I wish I could control it. I would. It wasn't in my agenda, so I apologize. There's maps on the table. There are 4 buildings. This is the main building, Moore Hall. If you get a chance to, there's a video looping up in room 200 by Gabriella D'Italia. Kat Johnson has a radio broadcast at 6 p.m., experimental sound. We have Aaron here playing music. There are going to be live performances in room 100 for the duration of the show, so pop in at any time and you'll see all kinds of cool and crazy stuff happening. Over in Holmes Hall, we have installation and performance and paintings and wall stencils. In Carnegie, we have projections and videos, and in Crossland, we have installations and more videos. In all of the buildings, there are intermedia representatives, so feel free to ask questions, although I see most of the intermedia people here. But feel free to ask questions, and if you are an intermedia person and you see someone you've never met before, please feel free to direct them this way. We also have lots of information about the program itself, so if you know anyone who's thinking about joining an MFA or has questions, pick up as much information as you can. So enjoy the food and have a good time. If you're waiting for a tour, Kate Dawson is here. She's the lovely lady in the black hat. She's going to be giving the first tour at 5:15, and the second will be at 6:15. So enjoy.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I'm going to read a short story that I wrote that's called Begin Again. The postcards started showing up in March. They appeared on coffee shop tables, bookstore shelves, and in between the pages of library books. They were taped to shop doors, left at restaurant tables, and placed next to soap dispensers at public bathrooms. Most people didn't notice. A few gave the postcards a passing glance, and a few special souls noticed and were touched. The postcards were for them. Samantha Francis was a typical middle-aged woman, except that she had no partner, no children, no pets. But that wasn't what made her unique. What made her special was an event that changed how she perceived the world. She remembered the exact moment it happened. She'd been staring out the kitchen window with both hands wrapped around her teacup, silently willing its heat to pour into her body like the hot water had poured into the cup. She was longing for the snow to melt, anxious to feel the tickle of grass between her toes. It was an ordinary February day until the moment that Sam felt more. It was almost like an epiphany, except that this enlightenment filled every cell in her body and caused bright, sparkling stars to dance in front of her face. She felt more everything all at once. The teacup fell, and while it shattered on the floor, Sam steadied herself on the kitchen counter. Her body buzzed as if an electric current had ran through it. She moved one arm over her eyes to protect them against the bright kitchen light, and with the other, moved the lever on the dishwasher to make its noise stop. Sam even felt a shift deep in her bones, as if the bones themselves had nudged apart just a wee bit. The postcard that Jane Scott noticed was tacked to the bulletin board at the grocery store, among the print ads and business cards. The following day was her 12th birthday, and she'd requested her favorite breakfast. Her mom had said, "Sure, but we need to make a quick trip to the grocery store." The problem was, these quick trips were never quick. Jane's mother knew everyone in town, stopping to talk to each and every person she ran into. Instead of traipsing after her mother through the store, Jane preferred to get lost among the scraps of paper and announcements on the brown corkboard. The postcard practically shimmered in front of Jane's eyes. She took off her mittens and touched it with her fingertips. The paper was silky smooth and brilliant white, as thick and rich as heavy cream. As Jane read the sparkling gold lettering, she squinted her eyes and scrunched her freckled nose, not really understanding. At 12 years old, she lacked perspective. That would come much later, after raising children with an adulterer and losing her parents in a car accident. But for now, The postcard made her eyes light up and her heart do a flutter bump, and she knew she had to have it. Over time, Sam learned how to manage her heightened sensations. Whether she wanted them or not, they were her companions. Even her pores had opened up, and she could feel more on her skin. She felt a person's breath brush across her cheek from across a room. She felt moonlight layer warmth over her body. She felt her tongue tingle every time she took a bite. But more than that, Sam also developed a sixth sense. It became a part of her, like her auburn hair or her preference for bacon over sausage. She didn't know what to call it other than a knowingness. She silently became aware of the deepest pain of everyone she had contact with, even strangers. The simmering pain that each person locked up tight and tried to ignore because it burned as deeply as glowing red embers would drift into her consciousness as smoothly and silently as fog drifts upriver. Sam wanted to reach out, but she wasn't sure how. As the chill began to fade from Fred Parker's 60-year-old body, he picked up the latest issue of Motor Trends magazine, dreaming about having a car again. As he walked to his favorite chair, the one hidden under the stairwell on the second floor, the postcard fell out of the magazine onto the library floor. It looked like a subscription postcard, but thicker, brighter. He wiped his soiled fingers on his faded jeans, reached down, and picked it up from the floor. One side was blank. The other side was decorated with colorful, intricate lines woven around the perimeter. In bold black letters, they were handwritten words. He ran his fingers through his greasy hair, somewhat stumped and surprised. He flashed back to the time when he had a job, a wife, and kids. The demons inside his head had caused them to disappear into thin air like smoke from a chimney. Now he spent his days wandering the streets, slipping into the library for warmth when it got cold. He looked at the words again and slipped the postcard into his weathered bag. Sam and Anna had been best friends since they were 10. Sam had never liked Anna's childhood sweetheart, Pete. He said things to Anna like, "How come you're so stupid?" Anna defended him, swearing he didn't mean to cut her down, and besides, she loved him, plain and simple, even though his biting words pushed her ego into the darkest corners of her mind. While Sam had supported her friend through her marriage to Pete, she had never understood why Anna stayed with him, not until the knowingness settled in. Now, Sam knew that Anna stayed with Pete not because she loved him, but because she was so afraid of being alone. Having his warm body lie next to hers at night was worth more than her own self-worth. So the next time Sam went over to help Anna dry her tears, she silently poured buckets of love over her. And before she left, she slipped a postcard under Anna's pillow. It said the same as all the others. "You can do it. Begin again." Sam knew that you couldn't change anyone. You could never tell someone what to do or insist that their choices were wrong. But she did wonder if you could gently nudge them, startle them out of the mundane, or jolt them out of the status quo. Sam knew how much pain was being carried around the world and recognized that sometimes people just need to start over, wipe the slate clean, and look forward instead of back. If anyone wants a copy of the story, there's a few up here, and there's some in my studio at Crossland and some out on the reception table.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
So I don't know. He did what bosses do, and he was on the phone, and he said things, and he took long lunches, which I guess, I mean, he was on salary, so what's a long lunch? But she wouldn't tell me about him. She would talk about the wooden stairs. She would plunge downward. her hand gliding along the wooden banister until reaching the curled end, at which point she would evaporate. She said that she always talked like that, though I don't think she talked like that at work, because who could ever talk like that at work? And she said that this was because of the curvature of the wooden banister, and also the end of the downward space and the lateral space, and that space marking the first floor, which was the work area. And she would tell me that she did not ever hit the ground. And she would tell me that, and not about him or about what she did, and I would just have to imagine him out there. Like I always imagined him there at the stairs, in a shirt maybe, with like a spot of blood, maybe from shaving or something else. I don't know why.
Indeed, he is the showers, the ocean, the stars, the foliage.
Here you go.
Oh, John? Yeah. I wouldn't worry about John. No, I know. I'm like, just the rest of them I'm going to worry about. I'm not hesitant to take my Julian tells me,
France. One of the biggest Jack Brothers, like huge, massive. And very, very controversial kind of pieces of music.
You do want to do one smiling or?
No, no. The other one was fun.
Yeah, the other one was good.
Yeah, I love this stuff.